Alright, hello and welcome. My name is Fetch. This is Formal Casting right next to me. I got the right side that time. I'm so good. Just like off the bat, managed to get the right pointed sign. We've been doing like tech, so sorry I caught you off guard a little bit there, Formal. But yeah, here we are, week 2. It is still the AEL Rocket League High School League, and I'm excited for a few more games today. I believe we have 3 lined up back to back, and we should be getting to action pretty quickly. But do we have any sponsors to thank before we get into that? Because I know we do have some lovely sponsors, and I think we would like to give them a bit of a shout out.
Yeah, I'm sure we should. You caught me as I was actually trying to find the script, and I'm still
sorry.
a little bit looking for that.
We have to make sure we like give them the props and the dues they deserve.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because each of our sponsors do like to be, associated with different things. Of course, starting with our presenting partner, who might be giving us some tips after this. That, of course, is Acer/Predator Gaming. Now, they provide all your gaming and education PC needs. They're helping power up the high school league, the high school scene. So a big thank you to them, as well as our federal and education partner. That, of course, is moneymanage.gov.au, where you can learn all about managing money and financial capabilities. So please visit moneymanage.gov.au. Our education partner for this high school event, of course, is ViewSonic. They're out there looking to upgrade your classroom today with their large format of interactive displays, as well as the MyView board software suite, which you can go ahead and take a look right now. Our gaming monitor partner, once again, AOC. They get you that best gaming experience with their latest range of gaming monitors. And of course, our gaming headset partner, Rig Gaming, experience great sounds with the Rig Gaming range of headsets. They have so many. And again, especially if you're playing some of those tactical FPSs, if you want to hear those footsteps, definitely look towards Rig.
Also, if your team is incredibly frustrated with you, you need to be able to hear every single one of their salty complaints in high definition. That's my take on it, at least. And probably a little bit more applicable to Rocket League in my experience, but it's fine. We have good teammates, I swear. Everyone's calm. I think there is a much better energy in this league, though, than my silly, salty solo queue games. So hopefully we get... Oh, actually, Rick, you've had a bit of time up there. Yeah, so do we want to talk a little bit about these games? Obviously, we don't have a huge amount of analysis. It's still week 2. We don't know how these teams are going to shape up. And because it is, the high school league, we don't have the same sort of information on these teams and we haven't seen as much of these kind of players yet, but I believe our first match coming up is going to be SMCC versus MHS, which is interesting because I don't think we've seen either of these teams so far in our last week's broadcast.
No, we didn't see them in our last week's broadcast, and I'm kind of thinking, you know what, you're right. We don't really know too much about them yet, so let's just go ahead and send them straight into that game. So the word go has been given. And I think, yeah, they should be good to go right now. They are jumping on that pitch. The blue side is SMCC. That's Link, Mannix, Mazuwu, as well as Zales. And for MHS, it's Fat Cal, the Grat, Luca Lol, and Twilight.
Yep, and my Rocket League is broken, so you might have to screen share it to me. Everything's breaking today. It's one of those days where I fixed everything up last night. Everything was perfect, and then nothing wants to work today. That's how it is.
All right, well, I will get my screen share going to you then. How is that going to carry over to the stream itself?
That's what I'm not sure about, but I figure that at least if we've got access to the game, we can figure that out. Okay, I was hoping it would be high enough quality. Doesn't seem like it is. What we might have to do is I might have to do a quick reinstall of Rocket League. It shouldn't take too long, but we might have to miss that first game. How do we feel about that? And I'll have to obviously pass it on to admins, specifically Nitro, if you wouldn't mind giving them a shout. And we might have to get back to you in a second for that one, because of course, technology hates us. That's just how it is. But a clean reinstall of Rocket League shouldn't take too long on this wonderful internet I have here.
All right, sounds good to me. So yeah, we'll be taking a technical break, and we'll be back shortly then.
All right, we'll see you all very soon with a working setup. It'll be great. the world's a better place. The technology has all been fixed. My name is Fetch. This is Formal. We're back week 2. We should be getting into it any second now. Formal needs to invite me to the match, and then we need to hit the big red go button, and I think we'll be into our first game.
Yeah, I think I'm getting ready to get into this one as well. The players have been told they're on like a 1-minute timer, essentially, before they're going to jump into this matchup. We've had a little bit of change of location. I think the problem and why everything broke down was because we went to the wastelands first, and we kind of... You okay?
My camera broke. Okay, it's fine. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Scuff start, perfect finish. Let's do it.
Everything kind of broke down, but I think it's about time, you know, we head onto the pitch itself. I just want to get into the action, all right? I'm ready to go. I think these players are ready to go. It's going to be the same sides, SMCC in blue, MHS are in orange. They're loading onto the pitch. So
you got to invite me to the game, Formal.
I think we're finally about to go.
Formal, you got to invite me to the game. I'm not in the game yet.
Oh, the name and password's in this Discord server.
I can't. I'm juggling too many things right now. There are many, many balls in the air, which I am struggling to keep up, but I think we're good. All right, like I said, okay? Scuff start, flawless finish. That's what we're going for. That's the name of the game right here. Thank you so much. Look, I'm rubbing my brain cells. I'm rubbing my 2 brain cells together and going as hard as I can, right? Going as fast as I can. That's, join party match. Oh, we might be informal. I'll turn my camera back on.
I joined in like 20 seconds ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll get the right names up there. St. Mary's Cathedral, Melbourne High School. 2 teams facing off. Let's make sure we hit the spectate game. I think we're just about in game. Good? I think we are 100% in game. I think my mic is peaking. Yeah. So I'll turn that down. But I think we're in game.
Yeah, we definitely are in game right now as we watch Fat Cal the Great. Gonna go try and set up the rest of the team. Look, we've been a minute into this one. Haven't missed any goals, that's fortunate. I've had a time to sort of watch how these 2 teams play, and the thing that stood out for me the most is the Melbourne High School side. They are playing very, very spread out. They're giving their teammates a lot of spacing. They're challenging usually 1 at a time while keeping 2 members back. But that player who has been playing forward has been very consistent in their ability to clear the ball back to the blue side of the pitch. Sometimes challenged, sometimes not. So at the moment, if we're going to go stylistically, I'm going to give Melbourne High School a small advantage.
Okay, that's good. Still first game, of course, as we say. You know, this format is still a best of 5. We're in the group stage, of course, week 2. And that is, you know, a lot to kind of... We've got a lot for these teams to potentially show us. I did like the attempt on the play there from our orange side, but, you know, obviously not going to mean too much from that. Still getting a feel for each other. That's kind of the classic point of these first games. Bit of a breakaway almost kind of coming through there. Twilight's going to be back to back this one up. And we've seen Twilight show a few skills in this game already.
Yeah, that we have as we try to watch Twilight follow through, but not quite be able to get there as it's going to be a pass around the middle of the pitch right now. Eventually the ball will roll towards to the net, and that's Link Mannix with the first shot on coming from the SMCC side. At the moment, though, it's all 3 members just pelting the back of the net, trying to break through that defensive line. I love that approach always, where you can send one person in, then the next, and when you keep your spacing tight, when you're able to get those sort of sharp cuts before hitting the middle of the pitch, you can sometimes get that like flurry of offensive shots. Patient defense, though, coming from the Melbourne side did allow them to hold on. Yeah, it's a bit of a static defense, you know. That's the only thing I was worried about. They had, I think, 1 player off on that side, kind of trying to play against that higher ball. And actually really good patience from our blue team right here. That double touch off the back. Perfect stuff from Link Mannix is going to put St. Mary's Cathedral up 1 point. It's one thing to get a double touch off a backboard. It's another one to get it off a defender. Link Mannix just able to stay with that play despite Luca Lowell actually getting that initial save. A fantastic read coming from the SMCC member.
Yeah, really, really, really good stuff. And you kind of talked about the patience of the Melbourne High School defense, but it really, you know, when you have class like that, it's very, very hard to defend against even a decently high level. Link Mannix is trying to set up something else there. A nice little pass into the center of the field. Twilight doesn't just clear the ball, but also clears the defender. So there might be an opportunity here if Mozu can't get to it. They are able to get a touch, but the attack is still on. Twilight gets Link demoed, but they didn't quite find an opening there.
As Mosu's going to put another one up right now. Fat Cow off of that backboard, looking to stay with the play. Actually dribbles it past Link Mannix. Zales from underneath will get a touch, and that will eventually open the doorway for Luke, who gets the goal. Too much offensive pressure, one failed challenge in the middle of the pitch, and you got a tied game.
Yeah, it's really hard to kind of, like, it is really hard to manage both your offense and your defense in terms of, like, structuring your rotations and things like that, but also just knowing how much pressure to apply. We talked a bit about it last week, the first step being not having that dedicated defender, because then you can't rotate out of goals, things like that. But it is actually hard sometimes to decide how aggressive you do go. Moser just slots it in the side, I should say, and the defenders can't quite get to that one, making the score 2-1.
Yeah, just a nice shot out of the corner right there, but the bigger read, I do believe, does come from Mozu in that regards, knowing that the defense was actually going to probably make that save, so cutting off the shot early, turning it into a pass, and finding the goal at the tail end of it all. Really well thought out play. Now looking at a 2-1 lead, SMCC. All they need to do is hold on for this final minute, and they're going to be up 1-0 in the series. An open net, and it's somehow missed.
We talk about it, like whiffs, mistakes, they're contagious as anything. Two players bump into each other in front of the goal. The attacker kind of freaks out, doesn't know what to do, and it gets a bit messy, but Link, of course, puts it in with the courtesy of that crossbar.
And that should probably do it for game number 1. 2 goals in under a minute, so it's going to be a tough ask, especially when we're seeing how relentless this attack from SMCC actually it is. Like, they're so good at just putting through those flurry of shots where they're always the next player to that play, and that ball's always going towards the net. It makes it so difficult for Melbourne High School to do anything defensively when they're always worried about where that next shot is coming from.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's not like they don't have ideas. It's not like there isn't like some kind of, like obviously they've been able to put a point on the board, and it wasn't through just like silly shenanigans. It was a hard 1 point, I think it's fair to say. And I think they can kind of manage these things. They have individually pretty good players. They've been making breakaways on the attack. They just have to find a way to manage it. You know, you don't want to throw all of your players back into defense, because then you have no pressure on the attack. Obviously, it's like the basics of the game. But they do seem to have the tools, and I would like to see how they come into this game too. I think that it's going to be hard to look at, to not look at SMCC as the favorites for this series, considering how good they look and how, like you said, explosive they can be on the attack. But yeah, it is something which I think there is potential for Melbourne High School to kind of come back and see if they can figure an answer to this. Mozu is going to try and dribble this one across the field. Bit of an open goal. It's going to be a 1v1 for now, but they aren't able to put the ball just in the right spot. Should be ended here by Link, I think. No, it wasn't Link. Never mind. Either way, closed out. SMCC do take this first game in pretty dominant fashion, but I would like to see how Melbourne High School manage those rotations just a little bit better in the second game.
It's going to be hard, though, when you are kind of being pelted again with shot after shot. 10 shots to 2 at the end of that one, and while I agree with you, yes, when Melbourne High School was on the attack, we didn't really get to see too much of what they can do, but I think a large problem was their inability to get themselves on the attack, and you can have the best rotations in the world. If you have it in the back of your mind that every time you misstep, a shot is coming towards your net, it's going to be really hard to commit to anything across that middle of the pitch, so I really feel as if they need to find ways to, instead of focusing on their own rotation, look for ways to break up SMCC's offensive rotations, because if they can do that, maybe they'll get a bit more opportunity to show off their own offensive skills.
Okay, so we're thinking more like direct disruption, get in people's faces, things like that. Ooh, like that was almost fantastic. I didn't see quite how close that one went from the angle we were watching. But yeah, okay, so we've immediately got the kind of idea you're just pointing at. The flicker at the top was very, very cute. There was one player there trying to play disruption, but it didn't quite come out for them. And the ball kind of resets back, and now the attack does fall back into SMCC favor. But, you know, with that respawn, it's gonna be a bit tight as they're forced back onto the back foot, at least for just a little second longer.
As we do watch Link Mannix dribble it across the middle of the pitch, disrupted by Luca Lol, but it only goes so far. This time, Fat Cow the Great gets a nice touch, but again, it's kind of straight to one of the attackers right now, who is making multiple defenders miss. That's a triple commit. The net is open. The shot is accurate, but a bit too slow.
Yeah, but again, you're talking about it. The attacking pressure was set up really, really nicely. Luke gets a sort of clear, but it does go straight to the opposing side. Zalez is going to try and make a run down the field. We haven't seen... They've, been a solid player. This entire blue team, I think, is pretty good, but we haven't seen as much for them. Still waiting for them to step up and make one of those big heroes plays. Link tries to make something happen on the attack again. A kind of triple committed. They try and clear out desperately, and it leaves the goal wide open, and there's Zalez stepping up like we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. Triple commit, and then the second one person is beat, well, that's in the entire field up for grabs. SMCC wins that one out, and I don't understand why triple commit in that situation. Why play so tight? I really feel that it's pretty easy to just kind of hang back a bit, and especially because the player who was leading the charge was the first man on it. Like the other two who was super tight, who was triple committing, they were just playing like essentially tailgate party on that attack right there. And I can understand keeping one attacker with you in that regards, because sometimes there can be a really delicate bounce and you can take advantage of it. But the fact that both of the attackers were immediately behind the initial forward playing member is very bizarre to me.
Yeah, and that was actually a really good potential
That's
play.
another triple commit.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. It was like the ball was in a good spot if someone had been able to hang back a little bit more and be ready for that one. And it gets kind of the cross-field punish from Mozu, who's just able to put it in the right spot because there was no one back. And yeah, like, I mean, I will say that's the first time I've ever heard someone describe Rocket League as easy, but I do understand what you mean. You know, it is kind of a tenet which, once you can put it into practice, it is much, it is something which you kind of decide to do rather than some big technical mechanic which you have to spend ages kind of labbing out. But it is stressful when you get these attacks pelted at you, like you were saying in the first game. So, you know, maybe it's just that mental weight, just everyone's trying to defend each ball. Maybe I just need to take a second and kind of clear up the communications a bit. Yeah, that one, I thought there might be an opportunity as Twilight was off in the corner, but not going to happen.
Now, I think it's desperation, and I think you kind of hit it before. It's the stress of being down in game 2 already in a series where you've dropped that first game, where they think they're on the attack, so they send everyone, triple commit again, but there's never a third member. There's no one ever playing defense. The moment Melbourne thinks that they can score a goal, everyone just kind of goes for it, and it's left them exposed more often than not. And this is kind of a prime example of how not to try to take advantage of offensive situations, how not to play that counterattacking game, because while yes, it's very easy to get excited, it's very easy to press forward, as we see two teammates bump into each other right there, unfortunately, unless you have that composure, you're going to get punished more often than not.
Yeah, and some of these clears did end up going in front of goal as well. Another little small point I noticed, there was a few situations where, you know, it's the sort of a cross goal clear which only a very good player can take advantage of, but unfortunately it does seem like you've got some pretty competent players on the side of SMCC, and you know, that's something which especially the top teams are going to punish. But the fact that the game has been kept somewhat close, you know, a couple of whiffs admittedly on the attack by the blue team, but I do think that, like, yeah, Melbourne High School, if they can work on that, if they can kind of nail it down, I don't know if they'll be able to do it in time to finish off this series, but it's something which is relatively easy to practice if you can kind of get all three of your players in one spot.
As we do see a challenge in front of the net, nearly go in for Mug. I thought that had a chance to actually kind of slip right in there. Unfortunately, won't be the case this time around. Still a much better looking game for Melbourne High School, despite, you know, some of their defensive errors. They've been able to get more offensive pressure throughout it. 5 shots already in this game compared to the 2 that they had before. So I do feel like they might be able to be on sort of that improvement train. Finding 2 goals, though, in 1 minute, it's going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's going to be a tough ask for them to kind of come back and win this series in general. And there we are. That's kind of what I meant by the not quite a clearing across goal, but giving up opportunities when trying to make those clearances happen. Right at the moment, it's another good attempt from SMCC. They're not really, you know, kind of putting too much on the attacking pressure on, maybe trying to kind of compensate for that. Twilight has the ball, 3 players up on the attack again, though, so if they get punished, they're going to get punished big time. Falcao tries to flick it over, but it actually ends up almost going in front of goal once again, and it takes 3 players just to get the ball into the corner.
Well, with 30 seconds remaining, it's going to be a couple swings and misses, as Alez is now going to try to connect to Mozuwu, but the shot doesn't quite find its target this time around. 18 seconds remaining in game number 2, and I'm content to call it here, Fetch. I do believe that this one's going to go SMCC's way. They're going to be going to match point, and it looks as if this high school, they're on a prime course right now for that 3-0 sweep, just like how the score just changed right here, right there.
Yeah, exactly. And this angle is pretty solid. Like, they were almost on the sideboards there, kind of coming, running this one across. And you're right, I think it's likely to be a 3-1 sweep. I'm wondering, I was actually going to ask you how likely you think it is that Melbourne High School take a game, because we are seeing small improvements, we are seeing them continuing on the fight, and, you know, depending on the team, some teams, when they go, like, 2-0 down, suddenly start looking so good. Some teams kind of just fold up, and I'd like to see Melbourne High School come back with a bit more of a kick and a punch into the next game. But, yeah, how likely do you think for them to make those changes we were talking about?
I kind of want to be a little brutally honest right here. I don't know. I don't feel strong about their chances, unfortunately, just because of the types of mistakes they were making. Often when you kind of have the sense of the reverse sweep as possible, you can see the potential frequently in the team that's behind, where they're coming up with good plays. They're playing strategically sound, but they've just had a couple bounce or two go against them. That's not been the case for Melbourne High School. It's been strategical missteps, being too overeager on an attack, or defensively sometimes just not being able to get any sort of forward pressure. They haven't had those flash moments of brilliance that makes me say, yes, this is a team that can bring it back. Now, defensively, I have to give some credit. Fat Cow the Grat has been looking very strong, and the few moments when they get to attack, it's usually off the back of Fat Cow. So if they're going to make that comeback off a specific player, they could be the one. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a game, but to come back in the entire series from this stage, I think it's going to be a very tough ask.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was putting my analysis on, was whether or not they take one game, and obviously, if they take a game, it'd have to be this one. But it seems like it'll have to take a bit of a change from both sides. It kind of takes it does kind of take St. Mary's putting a bit less pressure on, and Melbourne coming back and adapting just a little bit more. So who knows? Maybe they're like me and woke up very, very late today and haven't got enough sleep, or still a little bit sleepy and still trying to wake up. Who knows? So I'm still kind of, I think this could be a first 3-1, because a lot of these games, there's an opening actually from Twilight, the straight cross. There's the lovely space effects as well. Fat Cow, yeah, I wasn't sure how Fat Cow quite got a touch onto that one. Put it in a really awkward spot, and none of the three defenders could get a good touch onto it.
That was such a great strike from Twilight to kind of cap that play off. Credit to Fat Cow, though, to be able to read it all the way through that corner, stay with it at a pace that the defense couldn't really handle. And that's going to be a second goal off the kickoff. Again, Fat Cow making it work. And this is why we highlighted them as that player to watch out for in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you mentioned tempo and speed, which, outspeeding the defense, and they managed to do it twice off the bat as well. So that's really, really impressive stuff. Of course, kickoff goals are one thing, right? Kickoff goals and then, like, traditional fielded Rocket League. Yeah, a couple of defenders out of position here.
That was just a swing and a miss from Zalez right there. Very surprising. I believe Zalez, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Zalez a sub that's just come in for this game? Or am I no, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. Never mind, ignore me. It's been a long morning, and we're already in the afternoon. Here comes Fat Cow, looking to sort of scout something out. This time it's Zalez who pushes it away.
Yeah, Luca's doing a pretty good job of trying to keep that one forward. Twilight now hanging around playing that third man role, and Fat Cow has a setup. It's going to be all on that third position, a double commit onto that one, but it is further on the attack. Fat Cow does have the ability to rotate backwards, a little bit slow behind it, and Link Mannix puts that one across just at the end. I really thought this play was going to come to something formal.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a nice pass forward. Again, the attacker already cheated up, and a similar situation to how MHS has been punished in the past, where they kind of overcommit on the attacking play, and they don't leave anyone back. And I'm not saying this to call out a player specifically, but I feel like Fat Cow, not the player who you want to keep back, but a player like Luca Lowell or Twilight, I'm leaning more towards Luca Lowell just because they've gotten more saves in this series at this stage. If they were just to stay back and be more willing to play third man, I think, more consistently, this Melbourne High School side would probably get more consistent results.
Yeah, that gentle touch just kind of waterfall the ball down was pretty good, but this time we see Melbourne High School not getting as aggressive and seeming like they were kind of calling their defensive plays just a little bit better. So this is the improvement we wanted to see. The attempt on the musty from Merzu doesn't come through, but I mean, hey, we like the style points.
I like that pinch pass as well to try and clear it. Unfortunately, they put it a little bit too high, as we do watch more challenges in front of the net. Mozawu now going to throw it over to Zelez, who taps that one up. Luca Lowell will clear it off that backboard. Zelez now staying with it again. It's going to be a corner clear. Gets into the box. You see the follow-up bump, but no one else wanted to continue the attack. It's a very patient game right now from SMCC, despite being behind, and now there's a reset attempt, a very late reset, but Luca Lowell plays it smart and makes the save.
Yeah, that was very much could have been dangerous to acquire that defense, and we are seeing again Melbourne High School. We're seeing them playing a more literal rotating style. It's almost like a carousel level of kind of roundabout, and they are holding onto this attack pretty well. The ball waterfalls down, a double commit from the defense, but it's a very soft double commit, it's a very passive one, so they should still be able to get back into it. There's another attempt again, but Luke can't quite get a touch onto that. The third man is committed, but it doesn't quite work out for them. A breakaway possibly for St. Mary's. Not going to come to anything just yet. Remember that MHS, they are still in the lead in this game in spite of being down in the series.
Yeah, it's interesting, and this is kind of more reasons why I'm thinking even if this game does go MHS's way, you kind of feel that vibe that SMCC still are the team that are a bit more in control. That said, Luca Lowell puts one on target. Zelez has to make the save, but the follow-up is going to be faster from Fat Cow. This time it goes to Link Mannix, and now with Fat Cow on the wrong side of the pitch, it could be an opening for our team in blue. Lake Mannix pass across the middle. Mazuo shot not accurate, but the follow-up, it's off the post and not in. You have to drill those opportunities.
You do. I mean, it always still feels a little bit bad when it is that fourth player who saves the ball, of course, being the crossbar. But you're right, you need to be able to get those in, especially when I come back into this game. But the attacking pressure is still well in control for the blue team. Well, I'd say that right as Fat Cow is the one who kind of breaks it. Ball goes up for a neutral position. Link is the only one who goes up for it. Two defenders push up for that one, but I think it was a crossbar which saved it.
Yeah, that was a crossbar on this instance, as we're going to watch Twilight try to play it off of that side wall. Pass across to Fat Cow, who will lob it up. Link Mannix gets there first. Now it's going to try to look to stay with the play underneath. Swing and a miss, but that's what Zalaz is for. Under a minute remaining, so only a couple more attacking opportunities left for SMCC as they drive it straight to the corner. Now no one wants to go for the ball. Link Mannix from their own back corner gets their first ball. Water falling down. Mozaru racing to get there, but Luke may have stolen it away.
Yeah, and they didn't manage to get too much more off that. Zellers kind of trying to tee this one up for their teammate, but it didn't quite maybe go the way they were thinking. They do manage to cross it in very nicely, but the defense is in the perfect position there. I thought it was Twilight who got that save, but I think it was credited to someone else. Doesn't matter. They're now on the breakaway. Fat Cow tries to flick it up, doesn't get the height. Maybe they might have liked, but they kept their defender's hands pretty well now. Can they keep this attack going for just a little bit longer?
Oh, that's a bad setup, because it's going to go straight to the attacking half right now. 15 seconds backward opening for Zalez. Trying to get it underneath Twilight, but Fat Cow was able to get there in time, but they don't peek out League Maddox. 8 seconds to go. Air dribble intercepted. Mazumu's underneath, waiting patiently. The net, it's so open, and it will go through with 3 seconds to spare.
Oh, this is going to be an overtime, right? Unless we see Melbourne pull out another one of those really quick kickoff goals we saw before, this is going to have to go to an overtime, and gosh, that was a dramatic fashion in which it all came about as well. There's been a few close calls in this game, in fact series so far, but that was definitely the closest of them. Luke is just going to put the ball down. Here we are, our first overtime, I believe, of the season.
It is the first one, actually. It's surprising to see it come in Game 3 in a series that had been so one-sided as Fat Cow tried to go for a fake, but no one bid on it. Now it's going to try to actually make the read from underneath in the corner. Smart play, ball wound up right in their lap, but they couldn't quite make the touch. Twilight can. Lake Mannix is going to put up a long lobber off the ceiling. It leads to a shot underneath. Not quite accurate this time around as Fat Cow tries to play it through the corner.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to go up high and try and clear this one out. It's going to be the 50-50 going into the defensive corner. Of course, Twilight can't quite touch it. Yeah, Fat Cow not having the best control over that one, but no pressure, is able to get that second attempt on it. And right now, it's just a matter of whether or not SMCC can find that big... whether or not... oh my god, Melbourne can find that big clear. You know what I mean.
Woo! Yeah, I do know what you mean, and I mean, they've struggled at getting the clear in the pass fetch, and that's why I'm a little bit concerned at this stage as we watch Luca Lowell take it across that midfield line. Twilight there to follow it up. Fat Cow, the danger one, is now out of position, but Luca Lowell stayed back. They didn't triple commit, and look at that. Someone was there for the save.
Yeah, character development. Let's go. Oh, no!
You know what? It's improvement.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. I felt like we had more games from this. I'll be honest. I know you said it was kind of one-sided. I mean, literally, it was 3-0. But I felt like just the way the games were being put together, I was like, surely we get to see more of these teams. But no, we are going to be moving on to our second series in just a little bit. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us, of course. Ooh, I'm very small right now, but that's all right. We'll go back to break. I'll inflate myself a little bit more, get that height up, and I'm sure we'll... None of that. I'm sure we'll see you all very soon. Alright, and welcome back! I have to be at fairway over here now because I don't know why my camera keeps moving. Anyway, hello, I am Fetch, this is Formal. Welcome to a good old Scratch Saturday. It is, of course, High School League. We're about to jump into our second game of the week, and in classic AEL style, we got a 2v3. Yes. I don't remember exactly. I have to double check which team the 2 is on, but we do have a 2v3. It should be an interesting. Hopefully, it's still like an interesting match, though. You know, because like we have seen these go the other way.
Always interesting,
yeah.
Right? In one way or another, weird things happen in 2v3s. I'm a little bit disappointed we're not going to Utopia Coliseum now because I think that would be the perfect storm. Instead, we're going to be going to the Forbidden Temple, as I'm just going to go ahead and give the players the all right to go. Now, on the blue side, we'll see Helena. On the orange side, it will be CWIC. It's the Helena Rockets, if you want to be specific with it. One of the few high school team names that actually, like, have a proper name to them, which is always fun. And, yeah, as soon as we get onto that pitch, then, like, we'll be taking you with us. I'm curious to see how fast these Rockets really are.
Ooh, that's true, actually. We do have, like, the most relaxing, the most calm, the most pretty stadium, I think, of all of them. We've kind of decided on that. I think we've got a consensus on it. And if Utopia Coliseum is the meme park, this is totally the, you know, the good match park, you know? I think, like, not every match on here is good, but I feel like just being here, you tend to lift the quality of the matches because everyone's just, like, feeling good about themselves. Because it's just such a pretty place to be.
Well, they're going to have to be fast because they are our team with 2. The Helena Rockets missing a member at 2v3. We'll see how they'll be able to pull it out. That said, there are some names I feel like I recognize, but I can't pick from where. J Casual, for some reason. Seems very familiar to me. It could just be my imagination. That has happened before. Ranger, though, wins a nice 50, and we could see a bit of offense on the Rockets side. A little bit of a scattered defense, but no one can touch the ball.
Yeah, that's a problem sometimes when, you know, that happens. But hey, all right, it's settled now. Bit of an attempt on the clearance. 2 players stacked up when you're in a 2v1 can be kind of problematic. But it's fine for now. I was actually going to say, on the topic of the Helena Rockets, the teams who do have, like, team names, and that's unfortunate as Rangers opts not to go for that one. It can't reposition for the defense, and ED does manage to put it across the line. But yeah, what I was going to say about the like, secondary tags, like almost the subtitles for the teams, all of the teams who do have them, they're really cool. Like the Rockets, or I can't remember the other ones off the top of my head. I have them written down. You know, other matches, we'll get to them. But they're actually really good. You know, none of this just like the tough guys or the big strong bears or whatever, you know. It's Rockets. It's good. I like it. At the moment, they are kind of getting shown up by this numbers advantage, but that's kind of what you expect in a 2v3, right?
I'm not even sure I could really say the numbers advantage, though, is the reason why those 2 goals have gone through. It was twice we've had someone kind of sitting in the goal, just not really willing to jump up and make the play. And in that situation, Genie really didn't have much to work with because it was off that kickoff. They didn't collect any boost, and they kind of wound up in that awkward spot. The play before, the Ranger was actually sitting on a pretty full tank, and I'm a little bit surprised that they weren't a bit more proactive. Now, from what I'm seeing from the Helena approach, they are definitely a more reactive team. They're waiting to kind of read the touch initially from CWIC before making their move. And I feel like the more and more this more passive style persists, the more and more opportunities CWIC actually will find chances as a result of it, although when they swing and miss, Ranger will collect.
Yeah, and that's good. That only puts it within 1 point so far, and you did mention the Ranger was getting a little static up in that defense, back in the defense, I should say. And that was kind of a problem because, you know, we've mentioned a million times, you don't want to be a static defender, especially when you don't have as many resources to commit to. But if they're able to find an opening, they are more than happy to take it right now. Genie doing a good job of keeping the ball forward, but isn't able to kind of carry it much further forward. Ranger, again, a good setup, but there's no one there to really do anything else with it, and they're just going to run it down the field. And that's going to be a 3-1 scoreline.
That one we can accredit numbers advantage to. Typically, you'd have another person back there willing to kind of make that save, but after the midfield challenge, no one behind, 3-1 lead. As we continue to listen to that, I forget the name of the song. I think we're going to be hearing it a lot, though.
What's Up by Four Non Blondes. Yeah, I was paying attention on the side, don't worry. I was just like, yeah, it's a numbers advantage goal. I don't think we need to go to like the millisecond by millisecond replay. See, I have it disabled because I'm pretty sure we're going to get copyright binged for like some song on here. And that was just straight cross
I mean, with the amount of Smash Mouth that we hear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, that was pretty big goal. It arced nicely. I liked it. It had a good weight to it. Don't know what else to say about that one, really.
I want to listen to more What's Going On, personally. I like that song. I unironically like that song. I know most people know it for that He-Man video, but
Yeah.
I like it a lot. And here we go. We get to hear it again. Because I believe it's Ed who has it as their sound, although I get to hear it, you don't. You know, going silent to listen to it doesn't work when you told me that you had it muted.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a bit to, like, carry that on, but, like, I didn't want to disrupt your chilled out, relaxed vibes, so it was kind of a very weird situation.
Yeah.
It's alright. We just have to, like, tell everyone to sync up the right exact second on whatever music software they're using, so that they can listen along to us without us getting pinged for copyright. I think that's the perfect plan.
Yeah, just get your Spotify open, you know, get ready to jam out, listen to some beats, just kind of put that song on loop, apparently, and that can be your summary for this first game because Ed445, the player who has that song, has already scored 4 goals in our first game.
And someone's going to inevitably get R-Truth's theme song confused, and is going to end up playing that and be wondered. Yeah, you know, what's up? What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know it. I just never thought I would hear a R-Truth reference on an AEL stream.
I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say about this game, other than, like, yeah, like, come on. If they got R-Truth as their third player, they'd have a much better chance. Let's be honest.
You know what? I want to petition Helena to change their name from the Rockets to the Awesome Truth.
Ooh.
And then we can get, like, the Miz in there as well, and they can be a tag team completely destroyed by John Cena in the future. Either way, Irish Dominique trying to create some space can only go so far with it. Was it Cena who crushed him, or was it CM Punk actually at the end of the day?
I don't know, because that was a bit before my I'm not super knowledgeable about WWE. I'm an AEW nerd, but I do know R-Truth. How can you not know R-Truth? The man is a living meme. Like,
I mean, fair.
You know,
fair.
He's R-Truth because he's R for wrestling. That's like his entire energy, right?
I feel a little bad for him as another goal is going to go in, so get ready and sync up your Spotify's. Here it comes. What's up, Four Non-Blondes? But yeah, the crazy thing about R-Truth to me is he made one mistake. Actually, no, it was R-Truth that killed the Awesome Truth push because he made one mistake, got mixed up in one city once, said, "What's up, Green Bay," when they were in, like, Detroit or something, and then he was never booked to be taken seriously again.
I think, like, I do agree with you, and it is, like, a lot of that in wrestling. I think that's part of the problem, but, like, really, genuinely, like, I think he does it so well. I don't think, like, a lot of people are like, oh, whatever, this is silly, but, like, that man has so much charisma, he kind of makes it entertaining. That's all I'm going to say. We probably should be talking about Rocket League, though. I know this game is a bit of a blowout. It is currently a 6-1 scoreline, and I could complain about wrestling for many a day, but, you know.
Let's talk more about what's going on then. Hey, what's up, Four Non-Blondes?
Yep. I'm the same thing. It's just like, see, the problem is with these songs is that it's always the same few seconds of audio.
Yeah.
So it's just like, also funny scoreline, I think.
It is, yeah.
All right. Memory's shocking. Yeah, funny scoreline. But, oh, they're gonna ruin it.
Oh no!
Own goal!
The own goal! All right, that's 2. We're 2 for 2 this year, Fetch.
Oh no. Irish Dominic technically got a touch on it, you know? Technically, okay.
No.
Fine. I see how it is.
Look, it was going in regardless.
It was. I'm trying to find, like, I'm in denial at this point, right? Like, the streak cannot restart. We cannot have this happen.
We've already restarted the stream once. We can't do it twice. I'm sorry. We only get one do-over, right? You only get one flashback when you race an F1, so, like, I don't know. Genie will be able to just push it straight down the middle. Irish Domini will put it up the other side. Jay Castle tries to play it underneath. Ball does hit the ground, and yeah. And, of course, what's up for Four Non-Blondes just starts playing because why not? Why not? Hey, yeah. As we said, 3v2s, they're always difficult. They're always hard. And it's kind of puts us in a situation where we can't really judge Helena too much based off this series just because of the external circumstance.
Yeah. Exactly. It is hard. We did see some, obviously a couple of mistakes in general there, but like that is how the game plays. Even in a 2v3, you have to kind of play perfectly. But like you said, maybe those team. Pardon me. Maybe this team doesn't make quite as many mistakes. Maybe there's like kind of more to play off. Maybe that third player is like the absolute pin, which locks everything else down. There are so many maybes in this that like it is really hard to say. And yeah, 2v3 doesn't give us much information about them. But we do certainly know they have a cool name.
And we do know that Ed445 is an accurate striker, if nothing else. Like, granted, some of the shots have been relatively open nets, but you can see sort of the situations, how they always put the ball exactly where they want it to be, even sometimes when there is a little bit of defensive traffic in the way. I don't want to take away the individual performances as much, and Ed445 has been playing a very clean game of Rocket League.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about it a little bit in that first series, is the fact that you need to be able to punish open net situations. Because, like, at this level, at pretty much any level before pro, even at pro a little bit, there are going to be situations where someone's going to leave a net open. It may not be, like, super often, but it is definitely going to happen. If you aren't able to find those shots, you are just going to, like, give up games you logically should have won. And so having something like that on your team is so important.
As we do see Irish down. Domini, I should say, going to put one up towards the backboard. Wants to pass it back across the middle to Ed, who is having a peek. Over a minute into this game, still no goals scored. A little bit surprising in game number 2, considering the frequency of goals that were scored in our first affair. Now we're going to look for another pass down. Ranger swings, Ranger misses. Genie stays in the goal, now presses out and gets a bit of space.
Yeah, it's not a rule 1 when it's both of your teammates, but for a second there, I think they almost baited into it. But right now, Irish Domini is kind of trying to set up another sort of angle of attack right there. Edie isn't able to get the touch they might have liked there, but Ranger is not going the right direction, has to turn it around as Genie tries to get a clearance out, but it's not quite got the speed, the pace, or the angle they might have liked. So Irish Domini is going to go for another setup, but whiffs it twice, I think, there, and so Ranger might have another opportunity.
So a big difference in this game from the last game is where CWIC is playing. They're playing a lot further back, and they're not as aggressive. That said, eventually, it's the third touch that will put it through. Credit goes to Irish Domini for getting the first goal of the game.
But it's actually, again, a point you made before. Oh, okay, I didn't know those defenders took each other out. The defenders being so static. I don't think there's a single game where being static really plays to your advantage. Maybe something like a tack shooter, but fundamentally, if you have that completely static defender, it is so much harder to build up. Like, you have to react so much earlier to the play because you don't have the momentum yet, you don't have the speed, you aren't able to sort of have that agility to get to the position where the ball is going to be, and that probably could have been a defendable play if they had had that player moving around a little bit more and not just parked in front of the goal.
Yep. I mean, you're absolutely correct, and within the context of Rocket League, staying static is always kind of a risky situation that you're putting yourself in. Although I will push back in this. My one game of Fortnite I ever played, I won by staying static, hiding in like a bundle of sand. Either way, Irish Domini is going to make it 2-0.
All right. So here's the thing. You can win a Battle Royale by doing nothing, but you can only win one Battle Royale by doing nothing. If you don't get proactive, if you don't get that loot prio and your rotations on point, if you're not able to hold the ring and get your gatekeep set up, you are not going to win consistently, Formal. That is my biggest esports pet peeve. I'm just saying.
All right. Counterpoint, though, that I'm going to throw right back at you. I still have my 100% win rate.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's a good counterpoint, actually. You're right. Got me with stats and logic.
Because I can't lose if I never play it again. 2-0 right now in favor of the CWIC side, and they're looking for that third. Genie again, just playing that goalkeeper role right now. This time gets that booming clear, yet all it's going to take is one bump or one demo on Genie with that numbers advantage, and I feel like that's almost a guaranteed goal.
Yeah. It is, I mean, it's sort of just a tricky, yeah, like, I don't know what else to say about this situation, right? Like, it is a tricky situation. I mean, that was 3 whiffs. That was a triple whiff. That's, I mean, it's not new. We see that a lot in our Rocket League streams, unfortunately. Well, not a lot. We do see it occasionally in our Rocket League streams. But again, with only the 2 players, it was a bit hard to punish, especially considering how reserved these 2 players are. They're not pushing up. They're not getting anything. Irish Domini just flicks over the top. Credit went to the right spot. Don't worry.
Well, if you weren't sure about the own goal before, can we count this one?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, there we go. All right, now.
By either definition, it counts, right?
I mean, that one wasn't going in. I think that was off the post and out, unfortunately.
I thought
Ranger
it
just a little bit too eager to make the play.
I thought it just had the angle. Okay.
I'd
believe you. No, I'd believe you because Ranger definitely made it a lot faster. Ranger definitely did the the classic AFL strat where you just carry the ball through the post to get it back, so you can just reset the next play.
I always accredit it to the smash strat where you jump off the edge of the map yourself and then start screaming, "You didn't win! You didn't win! I did that!"
Technically, they didn't take a stock off you. Yeah. That's Oh, technically, you didn't free stock me. Yeah. Smash is a game.
Smash is a game.
Ooh.
I believe Smash is a game played here at AEL, by the way. Or at least it is in return this season. Yeah. Smash is a game played here at AEL.
Yeah. Okay, so we can't actually smack talk it that hard.
No, I mean, we shouldn't is the correct word.
Ooh,
And no,
true.
Smash is a good game.
No.
Smash is a good game. I enjoy Smash. I enjoy playing it with friends. And if you're interested in playing Smash, you should look to sign up as well, as we see some pressure in front of the net. But you're the one who casts Smash. I mean, you're the one who should be saying that.
Yeah, I think it's like when when some random walks up and is like, "Oh, League of Legends sucks." And you're like, "Bro, you don't even play it. Like, just stop this." And then, but like whenever a League of Legends player says it, you're like, "Yeah, this game sucks."
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness.
You know what I want to see this year? I want to see. Well, not this year. When Street Fighter 6 comes out, hopefully at some point this year, I want to see the season after that. I want to see it in the AEL. I'm keen for Street Fighter 6. I think it's going to be awesome. I think we need to bring it to the masses. I don't care if it's uni. I don't care if it's high school. I just want to see it. Heck, I'd deal with a corporate league. Those guys smell, but I think I'd deal with that. You know, as long as we get Street Fighter 6 in there somewhere.
Corporate leagues have some of the most passionate people.
Oh yeah, they're incredibly awesome.
So I totally would love to see a corporate Street Fighter league, and I think that would also fit the age group of people who play Street Fighter as well. As we
might be a bit young, but you know, they might be a bit young for Street Fighter. That's a boomer game, isn't it?
Oh, it's a big time boomer game. It's old for me, and I'm probably the biggest boomer in the scene. So yeah, it's out there. Game number 3, by the way. 2-0 lead currently for CWIC. We got one more game possibly to go through unless the greatest upset never told begins right now. It's going to be hard, though. Genie, that constant defender, has been suffering ping issues. I think that's one of the reasons why Genie has been sitting back as well. Maybe this time they'll be able to turn some of those defensive saves into some offensive plays.
Yeah, that'd be good to see. Seeing a little bit more, of course, from the Rockets, because we don't get to see much of them in this game. That's kind of factual. When you have a 3v2, you don't get to see as much, but hopefully they get to make some sort of big plays. I think at this point it's almost worth saying, like, okay, this game's kind of lost. Let's just have a bit of fun with it. Let's just show off how good our attacking are, our pass plays or whatever. But I do see what you mean. Genie was very much holding back there. Didn't even sort of react when the ball got close, but it can be a bit overwhelming being in that situation. 3 people bearing down on you. You are in that 1v2. Your player's going up. Yeah, your mate's going up. Yeah, it's a bit rough.
That was another example, too, of how strong Ed445 is at putting the ball exactly where they want to. There's a specific training pack, actually, in this game just for kind of hitting shots just like that one. I feel like that's one that Ed445 has used in the past, so really great to see that sort of accuracy, and I think we might get to see it again. Nope, not this time. In fact, it nearly goes the other way. Ranger unable to stay with it, but it turns into an own goal, our 3rd of the series.
Does it become a super own goal when you combine 3 of them? You know, it's like 2-star own goal.
Possibly. You didn't win, Fetch. You didn't win. I scored that goal.
True. So yeah, you could make the point that that you know, Helena are scoreless, but no, it's a 1-on-1. Like, okay, that breakaway was earned by Ranger. Ranger saw that play and went, I'm going for it. And they baited out, you know, they landed a bit awkwardly, they skidded a little bit, but it was intentional. They had the play. They knew that their opponent was going to whiff up on that one, and it was just, you know, 1 gazillion IQ. I don't know what we're up to now. It's like something like that, right? 1
when
gazillion.
When are we going to get a Rocket League car in Smash?
We're never going to have another Smash game. The guy who makes Smash, Sakurai, he said that we're never getting another Smash game, which is like maybe the 4th or 5th time he said that about a Smash game, but this time he's for serious. Surely.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Nintendo is allergic to money sometimes. Either way, Irish Omni is going to try to play off that backward. They can only go so far with it. Ranger going to try and drive it back across that middle of the pitch. Look, 2 minutes into this game, still tied. This is the closest we've seen yet out of the Helena side, despite the fact that this entire game has been played pretty much on the blue side of the pitch until now. Wide open middle of the field. The attack is there. Genie stays with it, finds the shot, gets the goal, and look at that. It's a 2-1 lead for the Rockets.
It's a jink as well. Look at this little jink. Look at it. It's so cute. Just a little flick over. Boom. Over the top of the defender. Perfect stuff. Big fan of that one. Especially because, I don't know if you have the same camera setup as I do, but we had Genie Cam before that. And I was like, Genie's just kind of sitting there. Like, why are we watching them with their camera? And it was because the virtual observers knew that Genie was about to make a big play. It's the, it's like the assassin in the MMO. They just sit there for ages, and you're like, what are you doing? And they crit for like a gazillion damage, and you're like, oh my god, they're so smart. They were just waiting for their opening.
I'm going to be a little bit spoiler behind the scenes fourth wall breaking. I am not on director cam. I usually go manual camera when I'm not filming it myself, just so I can have an overhead view and watch the positioning of the players and their rotations to get that better idea of how they sort of approach the game as I continue to swell my brain and ego in the process. As we sit, though, 2-1. This is looking pretty good for CWIC, though Irish Domini ties the game up.
Yeah, there we go. That lovely little planet solar system display. I don't think it's exactly accurate. Do you think it's actually like all the planets in the right? I'm sure one of these high school players could tell us. It doesn't look like there was the right number though.
Yeah, I don't think there's 8 of them there. Actually, here's a question for you. Do you believe Pluto should become a planet again?
I thought it was. I thought they'd reestablished it as a planet.
Oh, did they reestablish it? Oh, I can't keep up. They change it every other week, it seems like.
These scientists are silly. They're just trolling you.
Maybe
Pluto doesn't even exist. Maybe there's just no planet there, and they're just like, let's be a giggle.
Yeah, jokes. We're just like superimposing pictures of the moon.
Yeah.
1:43 to go, though. 100 seconds remaining. Still a tie ball game. Ed 4-4-5. Going to try to stay with that on that side. Well, actually, no. They're going to back away and give all the space back to Ranger, who misses completely. Ed misses completely. Iris Domini misses completely. But Jay Casual doesn't and plays it through the corner.
Hero of the day, Jake, right there, kind of putting an end to those whiffs. Genie does get a connection as well, so we're back to playing the back and forth game. Jay Casual, lovely little pass off to the teammate. That's like one of the most visually appealing plays, I think, is when you run the ball and then just like slip it to your teammate who's going the other direction. It's very nice to watch. It's not like the most technical play ever, but it is very cute.
All right, I have done the research. Pluto is a dwarf planet.
Yeah, but I thought it was still also like, I thought dwarf planets were planets now.
I mean, planets. Wait, are dwarf planets not planets? It's called planets in the name. I just assumed that would mean it's.
No, they used to be classified because a dwarf planet used to be classified as something different to a planet, and the definition is super ambiguous and weird. Like,
I hate this.
It's like how I can't think of the exact example, but like slimy substances are technically solids. It's like something like that, where it's like, wow, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. We are tied up with 30 seconds remaining in this one. This actually might be the upset.
It could be upset time, or it could be time for Irish Domini to set up the rest of the team. Jay Casual looking to stay with it. Both Ed and Irish are rotating back. Ranger, though, will be playing it forward. Genie rotating back because they feel like an attack is coming, and this could be it. Jay Casual lines themselves up. It's a double commit, all to try to fake underneath, but no one takes that strike. 5 seconds remaining. Ed looking to play it through the corner. It's a delicate touch. Attackers in each other's way. Ball just needs to hit the ground, and guess what? It does, Fetch. We are going to overtime.
All right, here we go. The 3v2 overtime. One thing you can generate it to, team, is a big kickoff goal. Genie is the one to get up aggressive on it, but Ranger's now playing static in defense, and it just goes in. And 4-4-5 strikes it true once again. Yeah, a bit of an underwhelming overtime, but hey. At least the DeLorean, we got to feature the DeLorean again before, this game was over.
And I never noticed that when the DeLorean goes supersonic, it starts to get like all those trails as if it's going to jump backwards in time. Although for CWIC, I think they're going to be pretty satisfied with the present after this one. 3-0 series. Good victory for the CWIC side. I like how it was a little bit more competitive at the end. It did seem like they were letting up on the gas with each passing game, kind of getting Helena back in it a little bit more. A lot of own goals in that series, but CWIC definitely were the betters on this day.
Yeah, in that particular moment, of course, it's unfortunate that Helena wasn't able to bring the entire team to the party, but, next time we see them, hopefully, that will be a different story. We'll be back, I'm sure, with one more game of the series, so don't go anywhere. right, we are back. Yeah, exactly. We're back. We're good. We've got one more series to go. This one hopefully will be interesting for us. Hopefully it'll be fun, I think. But we don't have that until we get into game. I believe all the players are ready to go. Something we actually be able to throw it over formal unless there's something I'm not quite sure about or not quite aware of. Ooh, players getting
they're
in.
just jumping in. It looks like they're keen to go as well. So yeah, we've given the okay. Players will be jumping in. WS Rebound on the blue side, taking on Pre-Shill Orange on, well, the orange side, whose name apparently got censored, and I don't understand why for the scoreboard in game. That's all good. The demo is on point. The shot not quite there.
I like the aggression though. We've got the buggy squad, the scarab squad, I should say, already here. And you know how I do so much love this little round car, this little egg car. It's very good.
Yeah, and so too was that quick pressure. I saw demos, I saw some aerial control, and then I saw the goal to cap it all off. So straight out the gates, Pre-Shill Orange, they're looking like they are a complete team.
Yeah, absolutely. They really are looking kind of good at the moment. We only seen a few seconds of play right now, but our blue team aren't quite on the same page. A couple of double commits on the play, not just there, but earlier as well. A bit too much patience, a bit too much kind of tripping over each other. But as they warm to this game, hopefully we see a little bit more from them. Fullback living up to their name, pulling way back in the goal and making a very nice save there, but still yet to find the clearance out.
Yeah, that save came at a very key moment as we kind of watched Hydrons pop one up. Alex can play the backboard. Already has attackers in the middle of the pitch. That's going to be Muscle Panda staying with it. Now fullback, kind of doing something we were a little bit critical of before, staying back in that goalkeeper role, not really being proactive, not really being mobile until the ball gets close. Then we're seeing that defense from the WS Rebound side actually swarm to it. Shot, though, still could come from Alex. It's off the backboard, follow-up's a bump, and here comes the actual shot. KPW off the top post and in.
Kapow did that so well as well. Like, kind of just trusting themselves to get that one off the crossbar and just put it in perfectly. I mean, you never know how much of that was calculated, but I choose to believe that all of it was, because it was quite a nice little goal.
That was a fantastic goal at a fantastic time right there. 2-0 lead now in favor of our orange side as they got two quick goals in that first minute. Always a promising moment when a team gets two fast goals like that. More often than not, they tend to win these matches.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, if you're able, and especially if you're able to get a lead like that, you can change so much how you play this game. There's a nice little setup, a nice little tap in from Kapow, and it does seem like this orange team is so much more in control.
Yeah, that it does. We haven't really seen too much of them on defense yet. It's kind of been an orange show. Kapow, second goal of the game, just quicker than the defense to the ball. That was right in front of the net. So, fantastic start for Team Orange. 3 goals already, and until we see WS Rebound kind of get themselves settled, this could get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And again, you know, best of 5, at least 3 games here, possibly all the way up to that 5. You know, as the name of the system. A little bit of dribble goal. Kapow puts it in the top right. Doesn't almost go through. Has to have Muscular Panda. You know, has to have their assistance there. But I mean, hey, that's kind of been the sort of energy generally going on in the orange team. Is the fact that they use 2 players and they score based off both of them. It's cooperation. It's passing off the backboard. Things like that.
Yeah, and they look just very coordinated in that regard. It's just sort of kind of piggybacking off what you're saying. Yeah, they always send those 2 because the trust is there with this team. And that was something that we sort of spoke about a lot last week, you know, the start of the journey. Where do you find the trust? Where do you learn to grow from these situations? And we're seeing that come together from our team in orange right now. Open net, Alex taps it in, 5-0 lead.
And it feels like they were all over the goal, you know, compared with their opponents. Of course, you know, WS Rebound, they are the Porcupines are just so much more kind of controlling this area, even when it's not necessarily or shouldn't be their area to control. That little attacking line, that little, like, attacking Diaz, I guess you'd call it in some sports, it feels like that doesn't belong to Rebound. They don't control that area. It's controlled entirely by the Porcupines, and they, you know, they clearly... I think that's just, like, at that point, there's not much you can do to come back into it. It's you know, they're able to do the kind of rotational attack where they keep making you use defensive resources and keep firing off attacks. They're able to have these quick fire attacks off their own breakaway. And yeah, it just doesn't feel like Rebound have much to kind of answer with on that defense.
Well, they have a triple commit from 2 tight spacing, and that will allow Alex to go straight over the top. 6-0 lead in our first half of our first game. The Scarab Squad, the Porcupines, whatever you want to call them, they are dominating this opening affair.
So I feel like they're running the Scarabs because they kind of look like porcupines.
Maybe.
Either
I feel, honestly, I wanted to make Sonic puns because, you know, you have hedgehogs with quills, you have echidnas with quills, but then there's no porcupines in Sonic the Hedgehog.
yeah, there should be. I feel like
should be.
yeah, I feel like that makes me sad. But also there's not blue, so it's like harder to make the Sonic reference. You know, maybe if there was like a villain who was fighting the blue, Sonic, then it kind of makes sense. But
Well, there's Metal Sonic.
isn't Metal Sonic still blue?
Yeah, I guess.
But it's the orange team who's who are the porcupines. That's the problem.
True. Oh, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. KPW 8-0. Maybe they could be the orange porcupine. I don't know. What would its name be? Is it in the vein of like Shadow, or is it?
I feel like if it's gonna be orange, it can't be. It can be like maybe a little bit edgy,
Why
but not
not?
like.
Silver exists.
Yeah, but isn't silver like silver?
Yeah, but I
That's
wouldn't
like still
consider
monochrome. It's still like any
Silver.
type like all the edgy kids love their monochrome colors. That's what I've learned, right?
True.
Whereas like
Okay.
orange is a bit more expressive. It's more artistic, you know.
Right.
My brain just says Percival the Porcupine, but that is very much not Sonic Energy.
You know what? That makes me like it even more.
Okay.
Percival the Porcupine and KPW as well, trying to put pressure on it as they're going to try to play through the corner. A couple swings, a couple misses. 9-0 scoreline right now. It's another one-sided affair, unfortunately, as again, it's in this high school league. We're going to see these teams, different levels of experience coming into this one, and we can see right now when it comes to the Porcupines, they've been putting in that practice. They've been playing this game, I think, a fair bit longer than what we've seen WS Rebound play this game in the past, and as a result, we're getting a bit of a one-sided affair.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like the nature of group stages as well. In every game, in every sport, in every activity where you have a group stage format, you're going to get games which are a bit more one-sided as you come into groups. We're kind of building towards the finals. We're seeing what each of these individual teams have, which of them is the best, and then we're going to get those really close games later on in the season. You do still get some really, really good games. You get some good expressions of talent in the group stage, but it is much more likely to get these kind of one-sided affairs, and that's why we have had so many 3-0s so far this season. Although we're only we're only 2 weeks in, so.
True, yeah, it's still early days in this season right now as we're going to look for a play off that side wall as eventually we see a pass thrown back down. Alex gets there first, staying with it. Pass over to Kapow, who will go corner to corner. Through said corner, we'll find another shot, and there you go. Kapow doing all the work themselves, even still boosts in the middle of it to make it 11-0.
Yeah, and this is kind of it. It's that mechanical individual difference which they're able to bring to the table. 11-0. What was our scoreline last week? Do you remember? I know I'm testing your memory quite a bit because I know I have no chance.
14?
I think it was like 14.
I
Yeah,
believe?
I was gonna say like 12-13. So it's gonna be around that. And that might be something which our Percivals are going to be trying to beat right here. Cross the goal. No one there to set it up because they were going for the demo on the goalkeeper defender type role. So they'd have to pick up the pacing a little bit. You know, like. Right now, they're playing defensive. They kind of want to lock in, make sure they've guaranteed themselves this game. But if they want to break that record, they've got to pick up the pace a little bit. None of this defensive posturing.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to stay with it as we go corner to corner, post to post. Muscle Panda back to Kapow, back over to Alex. I love the passing. Muscle Panda with the shot, posts it, doesn't put it through. That would have been my favorite goal, actually, had they been able to find it. And out of what would have been a dozen, that would say a lot. Instead, it's going to be a pass back all the way back to Panda. Kapow takes it away. 10 seconds remaining. And the first goal of the game scored by WS Rebound.
Yeah, fullback just takes it away from their opponents. Yeah, like they kind of focus so much on passing it back and forth to each other that they kind of forgot which direction they were going, and fullback was able just to pound that one forward and make sure that there was absolutely, guaranteeing themselves at least one goal for this series.
I appreciate, too, that fullback is once again, playing that same song that we heard all last series. Either way, game number 1, it's done. It's dusted. Let's put one more in for good measure. 12-1, a baker's dozen of goals that go in favor of the Porcupines.
Yeah, I kind of like the symmetry of the 111 scoreline. You know, it's like there's lots of ones on the board, and that's, you know, it's satisfying. Yeah, it is very weird that that's censored. It is literally what we have in the top right of the screen. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a bit weird.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out, and you know what? But I shouldn't. I wonder if shill.
Yes.
Because it's pre-shill. So I think just the SHIL might have triggered the censoring.
Like an anti gambling marketing kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. But it's such a weird thing to censor, and it's only 1L, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, because generally speaking, the more with like these sort of automatic censoring things, the more, I guess, dangerous, the more they want to avoid a word, the more variants of that word they put in. Like, you know, you ban. Whereas something like shill, I don't know, it seems weird to ban that in general, and then to like ban variants of it like 1L also seems weird. I don't know.
What Kapow has done to their name seems weird, as a Muscular Panda will find the first goal 12 seconds in. It's a 1-0 lead.
And again, passing play off the backboard, exactly what we saw before. It really is just that sort of like fundamental having each other's back. They had one player trying to play disruption as well to keep the defender on their toes, and it's exactly why the Porcupines are just so strong, and why, like, you know, they've got to be a decent chance of being one of our top teams in general, even though they're not really being challenged in this game. You know, it sort of feels like a bold prediction to say that, but I think it's a fair statement.
Well, it goes back to what I kind of said, a point I brought up a fair bit last week. When you see these sort of one-sided affairs where it's a team that just has a far more experience than their opponents, we don't really learn too much about them, and we won't until we see them get properly challenged. As this time it is going to be Kapow who gets that goal. Just a simple backward pass straight down the middle, 2-0 lead. I really, and I know this is probably feeding into the player and why they did it, but that name selection, the W's across the screen, can't say I'm a fan.
Yeah, definitely know what you're saying. At least it's like only a few digits, and then it's like one repeated instead of like some of those players who have like 6 digits in the middle of their name, you know, repeated, and then it's just all a mess. It's not the worst I've seen, but I definitely agree with you. It's a bit tricky. It's not my favorite either.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens moving forward from here as the Scarab squad, the Porcupines, out in front yet again, that 2-0 lead. With the sort of lights-out offensive style that we've seen from them, I do expect this lead to actually be held on to, especially once they start to get going on that blue side of the pitch, as you see right now. Alex again with the pass to Kapow. I love that shot crossing up the one defender, and it's a 3-0 lead.
We haven't seen much of their defensive effort right at the moment. I think the one or two times we have, it's like, especially with that goal in the last game, it was kind of, you know, them massively overextending, fullback just carrying it away from the breakaway. But, you know, I don't know, like, it's just such a big question. I don't think that those sort of mistakes are mistakes they'll make against other teams. Right now, they feel pretty happy and pretty content. That was a lovely little 1-2-3. Pretty happy and pretty content just going across the field, passing back to each other, putting all three of their players up, and not being too worried about getting challenged. Like you said, that sort of lights-out attacking style. But, you know, I do still wonder a little bit about the defense. Like, if they've... It's kind of like when you talk about a fighting game, where like someone will lab out combos so much they won't know how to set up, or they won't know what to do when they're being pressured and trying to play defensive.
Yeah.
There's that little sneaking suspicion about these Porcupine side, you know?
No, and I totally get where you're coming from right now, because when you look like around the globe when it comes to Rocket League, and we've been seeing more and more of this aggressive meta, where more and more players are willing to kind of take risks and always go for these big mech, big offensive challenging type plays. There's also the teams that try to do that and are pretty good at that, but that's all they can do. And I can kind of see what you're saying, that the Porcupines might be falling in that same sort of trap where they become this one-dimensional team, but they happen to succeed because that one dimension is the most successful in the meta at this current stage.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It is interesting, though, because you talked a lot last week in particular about, like, how you want to see more teams going for that ruthless, like, big up aggressive style, the big mechanical techniques. And it isn't just mechanics, it's also knowing your teammate, like you said earlier, trusting them, having the pass plays. You know, they do tend to, they go to the backboard a lot, but it's not like they can't make this cross, sort of, you know, cross goal passes and variants and things like that, just having punishes on bad clears. They really do seem to have all of those kind of offensive pieces put together. And yeah, like, see, now that we see a team who is doing that, you can see why we highlighted so carefully so much why that's such a good style.
Yeah, it's just relentless how much pressure will constantly kind of put down and put on the defenses that are forced to kind of play black against it right now. Now we actually get a little bit of offense perhaps out of the WS rebound side. They get the ball to that orange backboard. Kapow going to try to clear it across the middle, and immediately we're seeing so much faster play coming from the Porcupines, even going from defense to offense. All three members able to get to the blue side of the pitch before the two players are attacking members of the blue side are able to rotate back defensively. This time it doesn't result in a score, but the boost management, the boost control definitely favoring the Porcupines.
Yeah, and that's, all of these pieces which come together to kind of result in the ability to run a style like this, because if you're not getting most of the pieces together, you're probably not making it work. Bit of a miscue there as the ball does not quite connect to Alex. Darkion tried to get a clearance out, didn't quite get it. It's pulling back a little bit now, and yeah, it just, again, same thing.
So I did see small signs of life coming from the rebound side. There was a situation where there was a triple commit from the Porcupines, and they had fullback cheating up the pitch. If they were able to find a clear down the middle, that could have been a goal for the rebound team. So they have their opportunities there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to kind of convert it on that instance. But keep your eyes open. If we see more triple commits come from the Porcupines, we once again might see a blue side goal.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like they're as afraid to sort of get in people's faces. I've seen it a little bit here, when a team is really showing you how stylish they are, doing the big mechanical plays and things like that, there is a tendency for you to just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna, sit back and try and save them, instead of just trying to ram them sometimes, because, you're not gonna be able to beat them in this mechanical style, or at least in situations, where they're better than you, obviously not gonna be able to beat them in that mechanical style, so changing up what you're focusing on can be helpful, and we've seen it a little bit in this game, not as much as I might like, but it is, it's rule also one. Stuff like, I don't think it's a rule 1, I think Alex is just like...
No, he wants the rule 1, he's trying to force
exactly.
the rule 1. And then he just yeets Hydra out of the goal. That said, though, action was happening back on the pitch. 2v1 fullback. Oh, got faked out. Play from behind. Not enough to make the save. 10-0 lead. And there is still a minute and a half to go in game number 2. Yeah,
exactly. This might be that record we were talking about before. I will say fullback's been doing some decent things. I think that they haven't quite had the confidence in themselves and maybe the confidence in their teammates to really pull it off. And when you are 10-0 down, I can understand how you get to that point. But it does kind of feel like, they have the potential. There is the possibility there for them to, kind of make some of these plays. Again, static in defense, but, at this point, I think, their mental's a bit boomed. They are just getting hit from all sorts of directions all over the pitch, and that's a bit rough.
Yeah, that they are. 11-0 right now, lead favoring the team in orange. The Pines, they're going to take this game, and you have to kind of lean on them to be favorites in the next game of the series as well. Just a completely dominant performance. Alex gets another one off that kickoff. 12-0 now, and this is a roughie. But I will say this. I was actually listening to comms on a similar game to this earlier today, and there are ways that the team that's behind can, get some momentum, have some fun with the situation. Don't be surprised if someone just goes on demo duty.
Yeah. Well, but that's I kind of think that's not a bad strategy anyway, just these teams rely so much on passing. It's a finely tuned machine. It's, it's like clockwork. And it's very easy to disrupt clockwork by just kind of hitting it a bit, it doesn't even have to be a cog in the machine. It's just a gentle hammer. A gentle hammer tap can sometimes disrupt things. So I don't even think that's a bad idea. We have seen the Porcupines actually going for those, demo goals as well. God, this is a bit of a rugby scrum, huh?
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit physical between these two sides, willing to try and muscle their opponents around. Bump attempt from Darkion. It doesn't really work out, although we do get Hydrons actually finding the demo. There we go. Kapow still going to try to take it back up that other way. Fullback, again, gets juked out of their shoes, but Darkion makes the save.
Yeah. And, they have a bit of an opportunity here, but fullback, that was definitely not the touch they wanted. But, at least was in the position. You saw the player off to the wing was trying to get that sort of aggressive passing possibility, cheating up just a little bit. But 3 players kind of go out wide for that play, and it means that Muscular Panda is going to go up to this 13-0 scoreline, almost cresting the 14 goal mark, which I think is where we call it a record, at least tied for the record. If not...
Yes. It was 14. I'm convinced it was 14.
I believe it.
I am like 99% sure it's 14. So we'll need to see a kickoff goal if the Porcupines are going to equalize it. Although off this kickoff, it could be a bit of a struggle. Alex will get underneath. Alex will get the dribble. Has the Panda in the net, but the ball hits the ground. 13-0, the final score.
Yeah, that's it. And that's only game 2 as well. They have another opportunity. They have another chance to try and break that record.
Yeah, one more game to go for it. We'll see if they're going to be able to pull it off. Darkion and Co. for the rebound side, though. Still, I would like to see him get one more goal. They did find one in that first game. I would like to see him get another one in game number 3. I think just to have that improvement moving forward would be big for this squad of 3.
Yes, absolutely. Showing that you can actually make something of these plays. And yeah, you mentioned it. Get a bit physical. Like, get some demos, have some fun with it, get your mental back on track first. That's the first step. But fundamentally also find ways to disrupt the play, which isn't just trying to let your opponent play their game.
Yeah, it's hard though, and we say this as it's like, oh yeah, just go out there, get a demo. But when you're getting outpaced at every facet of the game, you know, finding the speed to not only get the demo, but then to make contact against a team that you know would be aware you're gunning for them, it's a difficult ask. Takes 17 seconds this time before Muscular Panda gets the first goal.
Yeah, and they've defaulted back the more standard cards as well, which I see. This might be the real sweats coming out. You know, this might be the real try-hard moments.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how hard they commit in this one. I'd be a little bit disappointed if they do. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. I kind of enjoyed seeing the Scarab squad playing.
Yeah, I agree. It does seem like no team can actually last a full 3 series with the Scarabs. I don't know what it is. It's just too hard, and there's a bit of an unfortunate cross there as Muscle Panda's going to be pretty happy to take that and ping that in. But yeah, it seems like I don't think we've seen a team. We've seen teams go 2 games, but I think we've seen a team go full 3 games.
Well, usually they like lose and then switch off them.
Yeah.
Typically is what we see, but it's rare we'll see a team win and go off it. We have seen that one before, I'm pretty sure, in AEL, but like. Yeah, out of all the kind of funny cars, the Scarabs can never finish because like Roadhogs will finish and like Mercs will finish, but
there is nothing funny about a Merc. A Merc is a very serious, very good, and very wonderful car.
Yeah, maybe in Sideswipe.
That's true, actually. Yeah, no, I forget. I had a temporary moment where my brain was just Sideswipe brain was just off, so I forget that's actually a thing. But no, it's a wonderful car. Again, pro tip: wear a hat on the Merc because it extends your hitbox. It doesn't actually,
true.
But
yeah, wear the biggest, dumbest hat you can find.
Yeah,
go full Caitlyn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, the triple fake. Let's go.
Woo! 4-0.
So yeah, no, I have a mate who does run. It is a Merc one trick. Always runs the top hat 'cause it's the top. At the time, it was the biggest topper you could get. And a number of times you'll save a goal by like just the tiniest amount. And he's like, top hat diff. What can I say?
Top hat diff. I love it. I love it. It's the only justification I can think of top. And I mean that both in Rocket League and in real life, all right?
Honestly, why don't more goalkeepers wear top hats in European football? I don't get it. Like, in other games, it doesn't really help you, but in European football, you're literally just trying to be the biggest block you can. Where are the top hats?
I agree. I want to see... Yeah, only in sport, though, because, again, I'm not a big top hat fan. I think they're kind of dumb looking.
Yeah, I mean, they are kind of dated fashion. I think that's not a... I don't think that's too hard to take.
That's a controversial statement.
I always forget that you can fold top hats. You know, you can just press them down.
You can fold top hats.
Well, yeah, because you can, like... If you just compress them, they compress. Because, like, think about it, you know? They're squashed like a can.
Oh, my goodness. That's a evil little dunk. But I love what they were going for on this shot. Watch this play. Watch Muscular Panda going for a redirect off of sort of that squishy setup right there. That would have been beautiful. 6-0 lead, though. Again, it turned into a very nice dunk instead. Either way, 6 goals. We're not even a minute and a half into this game, Fetch.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. I think this is the sweat moment. They want to set a new record. That's what they're going for. And that feels like how this game is going to progress. And yeah, it's got to be so hard as a rebound right now to sort of be like, we've got to play out a whole 3.5 minutes, and it's going to be a long 3.5 minutes because there's going to be a lot of goals scored.
Yeah, this is when I say, you know what? A, maybe implementing a mercy rule. B, just let's have a freestyle tournament now. Let's see what kind of crazy mechanics you can pull out.
I mean, I do feel like Porcupines are kind of going for that sort of stuff anyway. They're like, let's see what more, like each time they score a goal, they're like, what other step can we add? And they're not getting to anything too ridiculous just yet. They're keeping it relatively calm and relatively tame. But they are still getting some, you know, they are still kind of adding a little bit more flavor each time they go forward. Alex with a very tight angle on that shot.
I think that they should, I want to watch this actually from Alex's perspective real quick, kind of see where they came from. Yeah, off the roof. Very nice half flip to kind of situate themselves. I know not like an actual half flip, but like he flipped his car halfway around, so I call that a half flip. Yeah, and then finding that goal. 8-0 lead right now, but if we do start going more freestyling, here's my rules, all right? Each goal has to be more impressive than the last, and if it's not, you have to give the rebound a goal.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I don't mind that. Of course, that goes for rebound as well, right? Well, not rebound as well. Like, of course, rebound get opportunities to make their own freestyle plays here. It's not just So,
I think we could be looking at a new scoring record though if this pace continues.
Yeah, we've only had 2 minutes of playtime in the last what feels like 10 minutes of game.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's get comfy, everybody. This is kind of the direction that this game has gone.
I heard you were missing the NFL, so we put this game on just for you. We needed something start.
Could you imagine if we ran an ad break after every single goal that we scored?
Oh god, I think that I'm glad that some of the Australian codes tried to phase that out because oh my god, in some of the high scoring games, your AFL sometimes goes to like hundreds of points, 100 and something points. Whew, it's rough.
More reason why Formula One's so great. No commercials from the start till the end of the race.
Yeah. I do think I kind of like I hate the streaming model we're getting for things like, you know, you have to have like 6 different streaming platforms if you want to watch most TV shows. Like, you know, you need all of the different things. But I do kind of like them for things like sport, where it's like, oh, well, I want these 3 esports programs on this streaming service, and then that's what I get instead of ads. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And also, like, again, I enjoy, well, it's not even just the ads. I think it's just like Formula One and casting deals. Just say, hey, you know what? No advertisements during the race. It is all race from start to finish, and it is. That's how it should be. But yeah, out of all of those streaming services that you can get, definitely the sports one is like the only one I will probably ever get. Well, that and Netflix.
Yeah, and like it's good that like the more competition we have. Normally, competition's really, really good, but like we're getting to a point where there are too many shows split over so many different things that it's just a nightmare. You know, you're just better off almost just buying the shows themselves. It has to a point, but it's like we don't have necessarily more shows. You just have to pay more money to watch them.
I guess, but like I feel like it comes with the expectation that they're better quality. 12-0 lead.
That's true. I do think we're getting some very 12-0 lead. That's it. I mean, again, sorry we're not talking a huge amount about the game, but like, what else can we say about this? It's
and I think it goes back to the point though, where it's like, it's the expectation of better quality mixed with like, there's more room for like TV shows to be more creative.
Absolutely.
And that I love. That creativity is something that should always be promoted. Both, you know, in creative medias and in Rocket League, which is why I want to see more creative freestyle shots.
I liked the little like ballroom dance, little ballroom waltz. I think it was Kapow and it was Kapow and Alex. I think did a lovely little ballroom dance there. That's pretty creative. Are there points for like have we figured out an equivalent of like freestyling, but it's just dancing? Rocket League, because I don't want the like synchronized dancing. I mean, like, you know,
rhythm gymnastics, but Rocket League.
Specifically not rhythmic gymnastics, because like we talk about all the great things there are in sport, and I'm not going to count that.
But you can do the by the way, we've tied our record, but you can do like the ball rhythmic gymnastics with the Rocket League ball.
I still think you can do like, you know, maybe have the cars jump and like high five or something. That's like very basic. I'm not very creative, but like, you know, that's the start. That's something cool.
And then you turn it into a pinch shot, and then you turn it into like a double touch pinch shot, and then you turn it into a triple flip reset pinch shot doubles. So
and there's a freestyle tournament.
The ball 3 times, and we have a new record for the most goals scored in one game this season.
All right. Wow. Okay. Here we are. Chat, play along with us. How many do you think we're going to get this game? What do we think the scoreline's going to be?
21.
21. All right. You know they're going to... There's obvious blackjack reference.
We were talking wrestling before. 21-1.
Oh, on the topic of streaks. Okay, yeah, nice. Okay, 21-1. I was gonna put a 1 point in there for WS rebound to be to sort of get the accurate snipe prediction. 21 that seems like a really good prediction now. I'm gonna say 20-0, just because that I feel like that's a safer bet, but the speed at which they're scoring, I don't know. I'm rapidly getting less confident in that. I think over is probably better. Well, anyway, chat. Put your results in, post them. Feel free to change them because I'm sure we won't remember who posted what. So you know, that's the beauty of being on our Facebook stream is you can just post stuff.
Is this the one? Is this the? Oh, Hydron's overshot it, and that's a good touch. Does it drop in underneath the post? Not quite. Muscular Panda keeps it safe, and Alex pushes it to the safe of the corner. That could have been the one fetch. We were so close to the one in 20-1.
So sometimes people listen to the stream while they play, right? And in some games, in other games where information is really important, where positioning and things like that, tack shooters and the such, and MOBAs, that's kind of a problem. But in a game like Rocket League, it doesn't really matter too much. Do you reckon that they're going to get a completely different scoreline despite us?
Possibly.
So this means whoever's more accurate is the person who is most liked. That's it. That's our stakes. I was gonna say, do you want to put a drink on it or something, like a can of Coke or something?
Definitely,
no, I'm joking. But what we actually have is much better stakes. Who's more popular, which feels appropriate for a high school stream.
True. I don't know. I will say this though. Out of all this kind of crazy things that I've seen players doing in the middle of the game, watching, listening to streams, browsing other websites, my favorite still was the person who was trying to do Minecraft speed runs while playing mid lane Malzahar in a League of Legends game.
That's good. That's really good. I mean, I think Yumi would probably be more optimal, but Malzahar is pretty good as well.
Yeah.
That shows a little bit more, in terms of mechanics.
It does. I mean, not that much more, but they're there.
Yeah.
This is the end of the game though, and your bet is looking a little bit nicer than mine. However, we each could be off because with 7 seconds remaining, finding 2 goals is going to be difficult. Finding 1 goal was going to be difficult. Fullback, I thought, could take it the other way and said the ball will fall and hit the ground. It's going to be an 18-0 victory for the Porcupines.
That is it. That is our new record, 18-0. Porcupines are the ones to take it. WS rebound, sticking through it to the end, and huge credit to them. I do think, again, I think Fallback did some good things. I think Hydrons and Darkion were definitely trying to make some setups, trying to make some plays, trying to be there in fight into the very end of that game. So huge credit to them. But I do think it's going to be interesting to see if anyone can take out this Porcupine squad.
Yeah, I think it will be, again, one of the teams that I want to see get challenged throughout the season. Maybe there'll be a bit more contention in the future.
Yeah, but that is it for our day of games today. I'm going to just quickly check to make sure our producers haven't said, hey guys, guess what? We've got a final game. But no, it's all right. 3 games. That is pretty good. 3 series today. We are still in groups. We will be back, I'm sure, next week for week 3. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm sure we'll see you all very soon.